inside. Chad Walter puts that left rear tire on, a little bit slower on the left front. Michael Gaston, he's down and away. To Marty.
And Kurt Busch made great progress from the back of the field up into the top 10, Matt, and they made no adjustments. Remember, we told you earlier, this is the California car that led the most laps. It is a very good race car. So far, the engine holding together fine. Dave Burns.
Matt Kenseth is in. They're going to go up on the track bar, plus an air adjustment. 4 tires for the 17. Remember, he was tight coming up off the corner. He revs the engine high. Matt is ready to go. He is down and out of here with a huge burnout here on pit road. Another award-winning pit stop, Benny Maybe.
Those guys have done a terrific job all year long. That's why they got the Golden Benny Award.
Check out the entrance to pit road here just a second ago. Michael Waltrip trying to get in off the track for his stop. Trying to slow down from 180-something to 55.
He hits pit road. Uh-oh.
He missed pit road.
He did miss pit road, didn't he?
And, you know, that's easy to do because you're coming off the racetrack with those hot tires, and you can see right when he gets off the groove there, that's all dirty and slippery, and it's really hard to get the car to turn there.
But you know one thing, he can't get caught for speeding in the grass.
That's true.
There's no lines in the grass. Good thinking, Michael.
Now some more pit stops. Ricky Rudd, Mike Skinner, Kyle Petty. And we've just about gone through the round of guys who didn't stop earlier, Dave.
And one would include Ricky Rudd. He did not stop earlier. No chassis adjustments on the car. Not a lot of radio chatter before Ricky came in. 4 tires they're going to change. And now yelling, they're having a little trouble on the right front. They have a lug nut jam. Bobby Burrell going back over the wall trying to get the lug nut out of his gun now. He'll head back over, and Ray Holm has jumped in, and he'll take off the left front as well. One crew member helping another, but this is a bad long pit stop for Ricky Rudd.
Jimmy Johnson is on pit road. He was one of the guys that stopped earlier under the caution back at lap 18.
As a matter of fact, he gives up the lead to come down pit road and make that pit stop.
So Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin, Jeff Green, Hud Strickland, and Jeff Burton go to the top 5. Those guys all stopped earlier on that lap 18 yellow. And there's Harvick, the race leader. He was the first one off pit road. Johnson had passed him, but now Jimmy's come in and pitted again.
You know, there's a lot, it looks like on these pit stops, BP, there's a lot of tight race cars. There's a lot of guys trying to loosen their cars up, but also I've seen a lot of tape coming off the front, which that doesn't help, because when you take tape off the front to help the engines cool down a little bit, that takes the stick out of the nose. Here comes Harvick to the pits right now.
So we're seeing these guys have to come to the pit lane already. They stopped at, what, 18? We are at 72 now. Bill Weber?
Alan, they wanted to stay out to lap 74, but the pace here is so frantic, you just cannot stay out there. The driver's begging to come down pit road. Kevin Harvick got a benefit of coming in 2 laps earlier than they had planned. This will be a 4-tire stop. Want to take 1 pound out of the left rear tire to improve the handling of a race car. Remember, Harvick, a winner here a year ago, desperately trying to get Richard Childress in this 29 team and his new crew chief, Gil Morton, to victory lane.
A great pit stop for that crew. 15.5 seconds.
But no money.
But no money.
$12.99 or better in the BP Challenge. Did you ever get your money back from those guys this morning?
Oh, yeah, they gave it back every time.
Mark Martin, second in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. Coming into today's race, now the leader of the Tropicana 400. He's 77 points behind Sterling Marlin, coming into this halfway mark of the season race.
NBC's coverage of the Tropicana 400 is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Walmart. Always low prices. Always. And by Sprint. Experience the clear alternative to cellular today.
Aerial views today courtesy of the U.S. Army, an Army of One. As we look at the Chicagoland Speedway, a 1.5-mile track today hosting the Tropicana 400. At the moment, we've got different pit stop schedules going on. Mark Martin pitted at lap 18 along with a series of drivers. They are still out there on the track, while many of the early leaders of the race just came onto pit road for fuel. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the race leader at the time of his stop. He's worked his way back up to 10th spot now, but he is 19 seconds behind this car, Mark Martin. Yesterday, the NASCAR Busch Series ran the Tropicana Twister 300 here at Chicagoland. First Busch Series win for Johnny Sauter.
And it was a very popular win in the grandstands. He grew up about 150 miles from here.
Up in Necedah, Wisconsin. And that series of green flag pit stops continues with Jeff Green on the pit lane. Dave?
Who is, by the way, a Richard Childress Racing entry as well in the Winston Cup Series. He's going to put a round of wedge in the car, a little bit tight, according to crew chief Todd Barrier. They're also going to change 4 tires. A little bit of left rear damage to Jeff Green. It is a contact sport out there, guys, isn't it?
Yeah, that was from the Ward Burton spin back at lap 4.
There's also damage to the left front fender on the 30 car. So it looks like an accordion effect. He got in the back of someone, backed off, and Ward got...
Oh, Terry Labonte is spinning coming onto pit road. Michael Waltrip missed it. Terry did too. No caution.
Is he stalled or no?
Well, that's what they're waiting to find out. There he goes. And we'll stay under green.
And a lot of guys are happy about that because half the field would have went down a lap.
Yeah,
that yellow would have came out right there.
Yeah, if the caution comes out before the rest of the lead cars pit, some guys are going to be in trouble.
And Jim Long told me this morning if this became a fuel mileage race that Terry Labonte would be awfully good. Unfortunately, that spin on pit road took away the advantage that he had. Spin coming on to pit road.
Matt?
Well, this will be a 4-tire change for Terry Labonte. They made a significant wedge adjustment. He says his car was loose.
Jerry Nadeau is in. Also, Kenny Wallace is in for a pit stop, waiting on Hutch Strickland. He's the second place car. Here he comes onto the pit lane. Also got Jeff Burton, who has not stopped yet, and he is on the pit road now. So Mark Martin in that 6 car is the race leader. It looks like he's out of fuel.
I think he's out of fuel.
Oh, it's going to cost him a lot of ground. While we wait for Mark to get back around to the pit lane, let's cover some more stops. Bill?
Tires to be smooth.
Hutch Strickland on pit road. It's a 4-tire stop. Fuel going in. He's about 3 pit stalls down from Mark Martin. His crew was on the wall. Martin's crew was waiting for him about another 6 laps. Now it's a crawl down pit road for Mark Martin. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment because he's been very, very tight. But the goal here is going to make sure that that car does refire, which it does, and Mark will be able to get off of pit road. Around to the left side. Again, it's 4 tires and fuel, air pressure adjustment because the car has been so tight. Mark stopped on lap 18. This is lap 84. He's on his way. That cost him, though.
And what you got to be careful there is when you come into the pits with no engine, you have no way to gauge what your pit road speed is. So a lot of guys get hammered cutting down pit lane when they run out of gas because they don't know how fast they're going.
After the cycle of pit stops, Tony Stewart. The big orange Home Depot car is out in front. He leads Dale Jarrett by 2.5 seconds. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up to 3rd. Bill Elliott 4th. And the early leader of the race, Ryan Newman, now runs 5th. Rest of the top 10, Sterling Marlin, Joe Nemechek, Jeff Gordon, Elliott Sadler, and Kurt Busch. Under green at lap 85. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Well, I don't know which way to go from here. I'll take the low road, 'cause I know it'll take me home.
Welcome back to the Tropicana 400, and appropriately enough, it's an orange car that is leading this race. Tony Stewart in a Pontiac with Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 9 car of Bill Elliott, and pole sitter Ryan Newman. Outstanding work in the pits for the 20 car, and it's Tony Stewart that is really hustling his car around the racetrack, BP. He's got his foot to the floor, doesn't he?
He really does, and he's running terrific laps. And after all, he's been out there about 30, a little over 30 laps on this set of tires and still running very, very fast.
Yeah, last time by, Tony Stewart ran a 31.25 second lap. Dale Jarrett, the second place car, ran a 31.38 second lap. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., the third place car, a 31.41 second lap. So he's got third place by 2/10, and second place by 1/10 a lap.
And when these guys hit it, you know, I remember him running really good at Michigan because he gets his car to work down on the bottom. There's a lot of racetracks, Homestead, they work their cars really good on the bottom. And boy, when they hit the setup, Tony is hard to beat on these racetracks. Now another car is a 25 car, Joe Nemechek. I've been watching him. and his car's been working exceptionally good on the bottom. He's been running some good laps as well.
That was a pass for 6th place there with Nemechek moving up. Todd Bodine using that high lane. Wally, you said the high lane was there today.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And it seems to be the general consensus of everybody that the more years of wear that get put on this pavement, the better the racing we'll see here. The fresher pavement just grips too good almost. There's too much grip in it for side-by-side racing.
Well, it's better this year than it was last year, and it'll be better next year than it is this year. Sterling Marlin, he didn't like to be passed by Nemechek, so he's going to decide to pass him back.
Well, I think Joe had to maybe check up. We'll keep an eye on this. I think Joe had to check up a little bit on Stuart Kirby, who was coming into pit lane, and that's why Sterling got such a run, and here comes Joe right back.
There you go.
I talked to Ken Howes, the team manager on that 25 car this morning, and he said, boy, do we need a good run. Just a good run to get everybody pumped up and get to a good run will be a moral victory for us if we could do it. And today, he's getting it.
Joe Nemechek in that wicked multi-car crash at Daytona last week where he and Brett Bodine took by far the worst shots. I talked to him this morning at the drivers meeting, asked him how he was feeling, if he was good to go, and he said, you know, the first couple days were really tough, but then what really got me late in the week wasn't the sore from the accident. He said I caught a cold from one of my children, and that knocked me for a loop. Marty?
Yeah, and they really do need a shot in the arm. Benny, you're exactly right. I talked to Randy Dorton, who's kind of the head engine builder and one of the higher-ups at Hendrick Motorsports. He said, you know, these guys have a great car. Clearly, it has a chance to finish in the top 5, but they don't need to set the world on fire this weekend. They just need a solid run. They nearly missed the race at Daytona. They had the big accident at Daytona. They just want a solid finish to prove they belong in the top 10 in Winston Cup.
We saw Mark Martin run out of gas coasting down the backstretch earlier, said it would cost him. How much is it cost him? A lap to the race leader.
But right now he's in 24th position, and you're right, 1 lap down to Tony Stewart.
So Mark's got a hole to dig out of here. And again, his rival for the championship, Mark, one of those top 5 in points. Sterling Marlin runs in 7th, right among the leaders. Tony Stewart is out in front with Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bill Elliott, and Ryan Newman making up the rest of the top 5. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Tony Stewart is the leader of the Tropicana 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series here at Chicagoland Speedway. He's got his hands full right now, not with the 2nd place car, but with some guys who don't want to get lapped.
We just had a big one, almost had a big one going in turn 3 a moment ago as Robbie Gordon made contact with a 19 car of Jeremy Mayfield. But everything is under control now as Robbie Gordon is under Jeremy Mayfield's car, goes by him, and here comes Tony Stewart.
Mayfield and Gordon running 19th and 20th, trying to stay as the last cars on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace has just gone a lap down to the leader. Kyle Petty, Jeff Green, they've also gone a lap down. Let's take a look at what we were talking about a minute ago. This was up in turn 3 as Tony Stewart ran up on the back of this whole pack of cars. Watch this.
On board with Robbie Gordon. He drives on the inside of Jeremy. Oh, catch him in the left rear. Jeremy goes up the hill, gets it back under control.
Good save, Jeremy.
Boy.
And Tony is running right behind Robbie Gordon when that happens.
That doesn't look like much, but he was about 175 mile an hour sideways there.
Just past 150 miles in the event now. And Stewart's lead on Dale Jarrett is 1.4 seconds. With Dale Earnhardt Jr. 4 seconds back in 3rd. Bill Elliott 7 seconds back in 4th. And Ryan Newman an even 10 seconds back in 5th.